Welcome to Three Black Guys with the Mic, threeblackguyswiththemic.com. Spudd is here. Maynard is here. Lamont is here. And today we are going to talk about something that is important to all of us, and that is the importance of building credit. We talk a lot all the time about economic empowerment. We talk a lot about making sure that we get money, but we also talk about politics. We talk about hip hop, but we talk about the black community as well. And we wanted to make sure that we're also educating people in the community and the listeners as well about the importance of building your credit. I am honored to be able to have somebody who I've known for a long time, somebody who's been driving around. Are you driving a Jag now? Are you driving a Tesla now? Are you driving a Maserati now? I don't know what car she's driving this week, but owner of Blackwood Credit Services, my girl Ebony Cochran is here. It's an election year, Ebony. So are you running again? Is it Cochran for Credit? Is another Cochran for Credit this year or what?
No, I won, and nobody wants to run against me. So I just by the bar.
She's talking like she got a big credit score.
Listen,
did she sound like that?
Let me say this, man. I got Ebony on because Ebony worked wonders for me, and you know, Lamont, I can now join you and Maynard in the high 700 club, and I feel, you know, listen, when what's funny is that all these credit cards are now starting to come to the house, and my wife is like, yo, what's all these credit cards starting to, you know what I'm saying, all of a sudden come to the house? This person want to give me a line of credit, this person want to give me a line of credit, and the whole nine, and that's all because of Ebony and what she has done and the strategies and the tactics she has told me to do, and I truly appreciate that. So I wanted to get her on the phone to be able to hopefully help you and be able to, you know, hopefully you can get with Ebony and increase your credit as well. Ebony, how did you get into the credit business? How did you get into that line of work?
Well, let me say this first before I answer that. I have to give a note to myself on Monday to put a promotional block on your credit so you can stop getting all of these pre-approvals in the mail because they are so tempting, and I don't want you applying for everything under the sun, so I just have to take a mental note of that. Thank you for sharing that, and I'm happy that you are getting those pre-approvals. Let me
tell you how much Ebony is the truth. So now I'm in the, you know, 700s. I'm like, yo, I got to get to the 800 credit score. And so, you know, after, you know, I got into the sevens, I was like, you know what? Okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to get a car. So I was like, you know what? Before I do that, let me text Ebony and let me see. And she said, listen, don't go into debt, you know, for no reason. And that meant so much to me because that showed how real you were about building wealth, about not making stupid decisions, and about really taking this credit thing serious. Because the average person, when they get credit, they like, oh, I'm going out to charge everything. Oh, yeah, I'm doing everything. But You didn't do that. So I appreciate that as well. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
And I believe the text said, I want to go get this car to help build my credit. And I'm like, heck no. Like, I'm not allowing you to even, and you see how I said that, allowing you? I'm not even allowing you to go and finance a vehicle, number one, that I didn't really get that you needed it. I got that you wanted to go get another line of credit to boost the score. And I'm just like, no, we're not doing that. But what people have to realize is that credit is a game. Everything that I specifically had you do was to move the numbers, was to increase the score. It wasn't to put you in debt, and you can attest to that. You didn't go in any debt by doing anything that I asked you to do. But my journey kind of started a long time ago in income tax. So I had an income tax company for 10 years. I got bored. I got tired of it. It wasn't my passion. So I ended up selling it to H&R Block. And H&R Block had a product where they would give you a loan based off of your refund, anticipated refund. But what they didn't tell you was that credit was a factor. So on the commercial, in the very small print that nobody reads, it said also based off of your experience score. So when I negotiated my contract with them, part of my contract was that I was supposed to work with them for 2 years just to bridge over my clients. So I was denying a lot of people for those loans, and it kind of made me look at myself, too. My score was a 486. I was a cash is king girl. I had the cash, so if I wanted it, I just went and purchased it until it was time for us to get a mortgage. And in my mind, I wasn't going to take my liquid and purchase a home. I wanted to get a loan like everybody else. So I started working on my credit. So what I noticed now that I really didn't understand back then was that the only difference between Ebony having a 486 and Ebony having an 837 was really just credit education, but nobody was teaching it. You see all of these credit companies now, but you didn't really see them then. You didn't see them 5-6 years ago. You didn't hear the commercials or anything like that. Nobody in my circle had really good credit. So I really had to fend for myself. So I started going to the library, you know, that place that has all these books and stuff that nobody really goes to nowadays. But I stayed in that library and I really took in a lot of that information. I applied it to myself. I was the guinea pig, trial by error, all of that good stuff. And then we ended up getting a house. We ended up purchasing a home. We ended up keeping our liquid in the account. And then I started working on my husband's credit because at this time I don't have a business anymore because it was sold. So I started working on my husband's credit and posting his results on social media. So a lot of people started asking me, "What are you doing? Can you help me? My credit is shot too. What's going on?" And I'm like, "Oh, you know, this is a husband perk. This is not for everybody. It's just for Mr. Sykes." And then I started praying about it, really praying about it, and I just decided to start this company. And luckily people started, you know, signing up, and I started posting all of their wins because I feel like we're doing the work, but Spudd, you're getting all the credit for it. So I started showcasing all of these clients, and it just grew. Like, we're 4 years in now. I've serviced over 1,800 clients. You can see a lot of their testimonies on social media, including yours. I just didn't tag you because I didn't know if you wanted people in your business. But
no, you can tag me. You can tag me.
Oh, good. Okay. But I do showcase people because I think in our culture, it has to be cool for us to kind of get involved and get in tune. So now everybody's talking about credit. You can't go on social media one day and don't see someone saying, "Hey, can you tag a credit person?" Or, "Hey, my score went up this many points," and things like that. So I just know for our culture, we have to make it the thing. Like, rappers have to talk about it. Actors have to kind of portray a role about it. The culture has to really, truly be involved. And I'm just happy to play a role in that process.
So let me ask a question, and this is Maynard. I think, you know, who we try to reach, and not at the detriment of others, are educated African Americans who are, you know, business minded professionals, and where that happens, so many of these people have taken on debt. Some of it good debt, some of it bad debt. And too often, people are saddled with the kind of debt that comes in the form of student loans, where they really are kind of between a rock and a hard place. How, you know, what steps help manage that kind of debt better as far as getting credit scores up, even if you can't pay it off, you know, like, you know, overnight? And what other types of debt are more difficult to work with?
Okay, so the first question in regards to student loans, I think the crisis actually starts at home. And here's what I mean by that. Even when I went to school and took out loans, my mom wasn't the buffer to say, "Hey, baby, only take what you need," right? So my student loan purchased me a car. My student loans purchased my wardrobe. My student loans purchased hanging out on the weekends because it was so easy to get. Right? It was no credit requirement to get those loans. So a lot of people, including my clients, are suffering from the six-figure student loan crisis because nobody stood in their corner and said, "You don't really have to take that loan. Why don't you just get a part-time job? Or why don't you get on a payment?" See, when I just graduated last year with my 4-year and I had to pay out of pocket, I was on all type of payment arrangements, like all type of stuff, so I wouldn't have to do this student loan thing. So I think if people would kind of talk about this stuff at home, a lot of us would not have been in crisis. For me, I try to teach clients how to utilize student loans in a positive way. So my student loans are my oldest accounts. They're as old as my child, okay? And the reason why I keep them around is because they're part of the reason that makes my score 800. Okay? So I know right now I can write a check and pay off these student loans. But because of the time that's on them, I don't want to pay them off. So I paid them all down to like $200 to a amount that I know at any given day I can pay it off. But on my credit report, it's still open as a long-standing account. These accounts are 13 years old. So if I close them, if I pay them off, they're going to drop my score because that 13-year payment history goes away. So what I try to teach clients, when you have, 5-figure, 6-figure student loans, the goal is to keep them in good standing. That's the goal. If you don't have 5-figure, 6 figures to pay them off, why are you letting them be late every month? They have deferment, they have forbearance, they have income-based repayment plans, and a lot of my clients have gotten an income-based payment plans, and their repayment amount is $0. So the thing about student loans is that you cannot ignore them. They are not going to go away, and you have a lot of companies who play on your emotions in regards to student loans, and when they promote to you, they say, oh, you didn't know student loans can be deleted? We can delete it. We can delete it off. And you fall for it because we're that culture where we believe anything that sounds too good, and we know it sounds so good, but we just want to try it anyway. And this is why the loan forgiveness programs are playing on your radio every day, trying to convince you that everybody qualifies for loan forgiveness, and you should just call and get all of your loans forgiven. Now, Spudd, you are a radio vet, and you know that people have to pay thousands of dollars to promote all day. So why would the government pay thousands of dollars for radio ads to help you not pay them thousands of dollars? Come on, people. These are scams. Everybody does not apply. If you do apply, all you have to do is call your loan servicer yourself, and your loan servicer will tell you if you qualify or not. You do not need a third party to promote to you on the radio to tell you to call, because everybody in the world qualifies for loan forgiveness. Second question, in regards to what kind of debt is bad, in my opinion, the only debt that's like truly bad is like foreclosure, repossession, things like that you kind of need somebody to truly walk you through it. I have a lot of clients that come to me and say, hey, I was just about to file bankruptcy because I'm being garnished, and they're taking 25% of my pay. And I met with the bankruptcy attorney, and the bankruptcy attorney told me that I needed to file bankruptcy to stop the garnishment. And then my response is, no, all you need to do is go down to the court office, file an objection, and get on a payment arrangement. But the bankruptcy attorney is not going to tell you that, because the bankruptcy attorney only gets paid if you file bankruptcy. So this is a thing where we're just not educated on these things. And my clients never say that they don't want to pay the debt. The problem is they're taking a quarter of your check. That's a lot. Think about what a quarter of your check. But if you can go down and get on $100 a month payment arrangement, I've had clients get on $20 a month payment arrangement. So again, we can't just run the bankruptcy because your coworker did it. Your coworker's situation was totally different from yours. We can't just go off of what your uncle did, your friend did. We have to look at your own situation. And I try to tell people bankruptcy should always be last. To me, it's equivalent to divorce. So if something happens between you and your spouse, that's not the first thing that you're going to do. You might try to go on some dates, get some counseling and things like that. And then if she's still acting up, then we might have to go see her.
If she's still acting up, she got to go. She got to go.
She got to go. Okay? She got to go. But seriously, it leaves a 7 to 10 year blemish on your credit report. So of course, that's not something that you want to do first.
So Ebony, let me apologize, because
why?
I know your husband.
Because he was texting me in the middle of our conversation, asking me who in the hell is Ebony.
No. He said Ebony, and I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my God, this is Rock's wife, and Rock
Yeah,
told
we met
me.
you. I met you at the event. So,
Sure,
yeah.
and I'm sitting up here like, wait a minute, yeah. So
Yeah.
Here's what I think is super cool in what you're saying, and I want to share an experience that I had with you one time, and I think the bottom line to all of this is about getting the information, because you're right, we don't know. It's a lot of things we just don't know. And I tell people all the time is that my parents did a wonderful job raising me, but the one thing that they didn't do is that they did not have the information and the understanding about credit, because when I got to my college, and I tell the story all the time, the first person on the campus was American Express saying, hey, man, here, get you one of these. And this was in the 80s. And I'll never forget, I got a Neiman Marcus, credit card. And at the time, Neiman Marcus was hot to wear a shirt and a hat, whatever. And it all turned bad later on. But fast forward, again, it's about the information. And the one thing, and I'm curious to how you feel about this. So everybody normally has a cell phone bill, whether it's Metro, PCS, whether it's Verizon, AT&T, whatever, right? So we live and die by our cell phones. And I was on the phone with Verizon one day, and I thought about it. They said, well, Lamonte Hayes, thank you for being a customer for Verizon for the past 15 years. And I thought to myself, dog, why is it that I don't have a credit history for that 15-year on-time payment? And I remember hearing somebody else say that they never, ever, ever pay their cell phone bill in cash. They always pay for it on a credit card because that credit card company will report that payment that you're making towards a cell phone and other bills that you're going to make every month anyway. So my question is, how do you feel about that strategy, and does that make sense?
It does. I think the only thing that we have to consider is what is the interest rate on the credit card? Because you're going to pay interest on the payment. And that's what I try to tell my clients. I say, okay, every time you go to Wendy's and swipe your card, you finance the burger.
Right.
So, and they look at me crazy, like, what are you talking about? But, I mean, it really just depends on that. So if your credit card has a 22% interest rate on it, you pay 22% on something that you could have paid with cash anyway. Now let me explain to you why I'm okay with them not reporting that. Number one, a lot of people's credit would be worse off if these phone companies would report it, because you're paying it on time, but the majority of the other people are not. And I remember when DTE, a lot of people don't even notice because they don't check their credit reports and they're not aware.
Wait. You about to preach, because I've said this before on this podcast. Spudd and Maynard, pay attention to what she's getting ready to say.
She ain't said it yet. She ain't said it yet, so you don't know what she's going to say.
No, I know what she's about to say. Go ahead.
Okay, go ahead, Ebony.
Okay, so DTE used to report on your credit report, right? And like I said, a lot of people didn't know that. Now, you had some people who paid their stuff on time every month, no problem. But the majority of the people that were not aware were paying it late every month, so their score was dropping drastically. And what people don't realize is that anytime you have 3 or more consecutive late payments on a credit report, the damage done is equivalent to you filing that bankruptcy. Okay? So these people went out in March. They went out and yelled and screamed, and they got DTE to stop reporting on the credit report. DTE had their own credit reporting department that I would send clients to and really just beg and plead, and they would take the late payments off one time as a courtesy, but it's still that, like, utility bill that because you pay yours on time, you feel like, well, I want them to report that every month. But again, the vast majority of the community is paying that bill late every month, and a lot of them wouldn't be able to qualify for a lot if those utilities were being reported on the credit report.
Yeah, but Ebony, we can't save everybody now. Come on now.
Okay. So
well, let me say this. As the person on the phone who's seen 1,800 credit reports, people don't pay that type of stuff.
So, Ebony,
one time. You have some people that pay it once it's cut off.
Right. I was cut off. I better go ahead and get that money so I can get it cut back on.
Right.
So here's the question.
Yeah, I'm serious.
I'm out here, I'm working, and I got everything I kind of want. I got a car, and I decided that there's a rim shop down the street, and they gonna finance me on buy here, pay here for rims, and I got clothes. I'm back in the cash is king, and maybe I got a 428, like you said, or 426, whatever you said. But I'm good. I'm happy. I got money in my pocket, and I'm gonna go to the club this weekend.
I went to the E40 concert, and I got high, and I got drunk, and the whole nine.
I didn't do that. What is the advantage? Sell to me why I should have good. Like, I don't need no good credit. I'm okay living in this apartment. I'm gonna be all right. Why do I need to improve my credit?
Well, you kind of sound like me. Remember I told you my story. I felt the same way until it was time for me to spend all my money with something that I could have just financed. Also, we get people here that complain about insurance rates, not knowing that the credit report is being pulled to determine that rate. So honestly, with the bad credit score, you just pay more money in the end. That's it, honestly.
Man, your friend, I'm sorry, Ebony, real quick. Maynard, your friend, Robert Shoemake, that's your man.
Come on, wait a minute. Hold on. Slow down. Slow down.
Robert Shoemake, if he didn't say anything, he said one thing that will always stick in my brain. Education costs, but ignorance costs a whole lot more. And when I heard him say that, I was like, wow, I'm really living in an ignorant, because that's the truth. And that's the bottom line to what your point is, man. It is, you just are paying a whole lot more for things that you don't even know you're paying a whole lot more. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Right.
Yep.
Okay, so anyways, my question is for people who are in the 400s, right? You know, and for people who don't understand how unfortunate being in the 400s are, and what, you know, how a big disadvantage of being in the 400s, you know, when you talk about credit score is, what's the first thing that somebody needs to do in regards to repairing their credit? You know, like you said, there's Credit Karma out there. There's Credit Sesame out there. You're getting bombarded with all these TV ads. You know, it's so overwhelming. You know, and some people just give up because there's credit card debt, there's student loan debt, there's college debt, there's just you know, unfortunate DTE debt. There's a bunch of collections that's on their credit report that they're just like, whatever. I owe Sprint $475 from 5 years ago. I ain't paying that. Forget it. I'm just gonna let it be there. What's the first step that somebody needs to do in repairing their credit?
They need to pull the report. That's number one.
And how do they say that? And the reason why I'm asking, you know, is because these are just basic things that people just don't understand. Because I think sometimes, and I'm a victim of it, I think sometimes some people are so afraid of their credit that they don't even want to look at it, that they don't even want to deal with the debt and the drama and the, you know, the stress of it all, you know. But it's important. A couple of weeks ago, Lamont said something that was extremely important, which was, you really look stupid out here if you out here buying this, buying a car, buying a Bentley, throwing money in the club, and you got a $45 past due bill on your credit report. Like, that just looks dumb, because you can't really take advantage of life, you know, because you won't stop and pay this $45. But anyway, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. And that's a person where it's just not important at the time. But again, you still have to put a report. We still need a diagnosis. We still need to know what the problem is. So, again, you have to know. So even with me, when I pulled my credit report the first time, what was on my report was all collection. That was it. I didn't have any credit. Everything the old doctor's bills, the old phone bills, all of those things were in collection. So when I looked at the report, that told me that my problem was not that I had all of these collections. The problem was that I didn't have any credit. And I think people don't really realize that in order for us to have a good credit score, we have to have credit. We have to show people that we know how to pay things on time. So that's why we need to be able to look and see what the problem is before we even diagnose how to fix the problem. So you have people who are just drowning in debt. Like, they have a lot of open accounts, but, you know, their problem is that they might have a financial issue. You know, I'm laid off of work, or I don't have any savings, or, you know, I got all these pre-approvals in the mail and I apply for everything and I want to spend all of this money on the card. So now I need to work out a budget or some type of repayment plan. So again, the first thing to do is pull the reports. And I want you to pull a report that shows your FICO score. When we do Credit Karma only shows your Vantage score, and it only shows you 2 credit reports. So if you're trying to work on your reports looking at Credit Karma, you're not even working on your Experian report. So we have to realize why these companies are free. Credit Karma is free because the advertisers pay to get in front of your face. So if I'm an advertiser and I have a secured credit card, I'm going to pay Credit Karma to only let me advertise in front of people that have a 400 through a 580 or something like that. If I'm American Express, I'm going to pay you $1 million to let me get in front of the people that have a 690 and above, because I know if I get in their face and say, hey, your approval odds are high, you're going to apply. And even if we deny you, we're going to do soft pulls going forward to see if your credit score increases, so then we can send you another pre-approval in the mail because you provided us with all that pertinent information that we need to kind of spam you going forward. So people need to realize why people are making it so accessible and so easy to put these apps in your face. It's really for a reason. It's not just because they love you and they just want your credit to be good. It's really to generate dollars. And nothing's wrong with that. But again, we kind of have to know that going in.
I want to go back to, something that you said. I think Maynard, kind of pointed this out as well. And that is, I want to kind of wrap it up with letting people know the importance of credit. When I came to you, I was in the same mindset that you were in. Listen, I pay cash for everything. All I want to do is cash. I don't even want to even think about a credit card or so forth and so on. But I went through the Dave Ramsey school of thought where it's like, oh, it's all about the cash. It's all about the cash. It's all about the cash. But thank you so very much for educating me on the fact that it's like, well, if you can go and you can justify that you got $500,000 or $175,000 or $200,000 to be able to buy a piece of property or whatever, then cool. But if you can't do that, then you definitely are going to need credit to be able to do that. And so for those people who think in a cash is king mindset, or I don't need to, move forward with my credit because I'm okay with, having an auto track loan or being able to pay 27% on, my car loan or either whatever else on my credit card rates and so forth and so on. What is the importance of credit? Why should somebody be working on their credit? And why should they be coming to you opposed to Credit Sesame or Credit Karma or all the rest of these, places that are out there?
In my opinion, credit is an umbrella. You just don't ever know when you're going to need it. If something happens, let's say something happens to your home, you have to get all new windows. Most people don't have a budget for windows. You might have to get that financed. So for me, it's a judgment of character. So anytime you apply for something, normally if you apply online, you don't have a conversation with anybody. You can't tell them why you didn't pay something on time that month. They really just judge you off what this report says. So for me, if you're going to judge me based off of this number and based off of this report, I needed to, in regards to the Credit Sesames, the Credit Karmas, those things are really just generalized. They don't really know specifically what your issues is, what your finances are, and that's why sometimes we have to sit with somebody that can really identify what the issues are. And I know even when I sat down with you, I had to kind of deprogram you. Like, we went through this whole debate about why cash is king, and I'm like, no, in order for us to get what you're trying to get, we have to do these things unless you're ready to dig in your pocket and pull out six figures. So, and for most of us, we don't have that option to do it. And I love Dave Ramsey too, but he's rich. So cash can be king for him. He can go and buy whatever the hell he wants to buy. That's not always the option and always the case for us. I feel like even for you, you can kind of attest to, I didn't really put you in any debt to get you that 700 credit score, but I provided you with some education and some tools to be able to go forward and not only keep that information for you, but to also pass it down to your children. So they can kind of understand how to go forward and how to build this number up without actually going into debt. But I think it's very important. I think for us that have companies and things like that, it opens doors for the businesses as well, for the business credit. I remember posting, trying to show people how I actually financed my car with my business credit as opposed to with my personal credit. And people were like, oh, my God, you can, do that? And I'm like, oh, we just don't know these things. We don't know this is what people do all the time, every day, because nobody has actually told us this is how it's done. So it opens a lot of doors that money couldn't open. And I always tell people, when I tried to get a condo one time, the guy that I was trying to get it from, he actually narrowed it down to me and this Caucasian lady. And he gave it to her, and I was upset. My ego was hit. And I'm just like, why did you give it to her? And he's like, well, her credit is better. And I'm like, well, I can give you the 12 months today. Like, you've already looked at my bank account information. I can give you that today. And he told me, no, I'm going to go to her because it speaks on her character. And I was just like, I didn't have a clue that that's what it spoke on. I thought my character was flawless. But again, this man didn't know me personally, so he had to judge me off of this paper. So people have to know that employment plays a role with this. Some employment, if you're self-employed, not so much, but your insurance rates play a role. They pull it behind the scenes. They're not even telling you that they're pulling it. So you have to be aware of these things. It's something that, again, you should just know as an adult. Like, it shouldn't even be I'm just going to spend all my money because I have it. We have a problem with keeping all of our liquid in our pocket and using it to grow interest. And, you know, maybe you could take that money and buy some stocks or something like that, since it's okay to just blow it on, you know, paying money for all of these things. But again, I just think for our culture, because that's where I see it the most and that's who I see the most, we're just uneducated by it. That's it. Like, if we knew more about it, because we're very intelligent and we're very smart, but sometimes things are just not put in our face for us to truly understand and really recognize the importance of it. So I think that's the issue, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm really trying to, you know, teach our people that this is important and what things that you can do with it, how it can expand your business. We have a lot of initiatives here for companies, and a lot of them say, you know, we're not looking at your credit or anything like that, but the one thing that they say that they're looking at is your character. And I don't know how those don't go hand in hand, but if you have really good credit, you can walk right in a bank and get this money. And it's available, but again, sometimes we feel like we don't even qualify for it. So.
Yeah. So BlackwoodCreditServices.com. Go to Ebony's website and set up an appointment, set up a consultation. Just see where you are. I mean, that's important. My new, I mean, I don't want to say it's new, but, you know, I've decided in my life that I am going to, when I need an expert, I'm going to the expert. You know, I'm no longer trying to figure this thing out on my own, and I think that's what we do a lot of times, especially, you know, when we are, you know, financially deprived or we're just being selfish. We're just like, I'm just going to figure it out on my own. Don't try to figure this thing out on your own. Get an expert, get somebody who knows, and more importantly, somebody who knows how to be able to, you know, knows the inside workings and the numbers games, because credit at the end of the day is a numbers game, and it really is about boosting it, and it can happen. It happened for me in like 4 months. I mean, Ebony was like, "Yo, by the new year," and this was late last year. She was like, "Oh, by the new year, by your birthday, January, you're gonna be good." And I was like, "Oh my God!" And I was stressing out. I was freaking out. And so, you know, I asked her to come on because but she's the truth. I've known her for a long time, and she really, this is an endorsement. I mean, she paid for this endorsement. This is just out of love, but, you know, she's dope and she really wrecked it. So thank you, Ebony, man. We truly appreciate you coming on and educating people about, you know, thank you so very much. Go to her website, check her out, set up a consultation, get your credit right, dog. BlackwoodCreditServices.com. Thank you so very much, Ebony. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Ebony.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Right.
Bye. Have a great day. Sorry we kept you over.
That's all right. I'm pulling up to church.
All right. Bye.
Bye.